Hi Year 4, this is your Blue Maths Week 8. It's just to give you some helpful tips for some of the time problems. Now before you start, you've got some word problems. If you're struggling with any part of the word problems or with reading time or you're not confident, you should have had an extra email with some green work on it which will take you more slowly through the stages of learning how to read the clock. It's not a problem if you're struggling, just spend the extra time learning how to read it. Okay? Ellie takes the train to Edinburgh. She sets off at 9:25 in the morning and arrives at 11:47. So, you can't use column on time because column works with a system where 10, 100, 1 are the basics. Because there's 60 seconds in a minute, time works on a different amount of numbers as a base, so it just doesn't work. You end up with things that aren't in the hour and you have to swap hour and it gets really confusing, so please don't use column. You'll get yourself in a massive muddle. Right, from 9:25 to 11:47, what you would do is you would count on, so to get to the next hour, which is 10 o'clock, how many minutes have passed? Well, 35, you've added on 35 to get there. Then you've got another hour to get to 11. So you've got an extra hour that you've added on. And then you've got your extra 47 minutes. So then you've got plus 35 and plus 47. Now, what we're going to do is just be really careful when we're adding them together to make sure we only go up to 60 and then we start the new hour. So you have effectively added on 1 hour and 35 and 47, which is 82. So 82 I can split into 60 and 22. So therefore I've got 2 hours. Okay, so my answer will be 2 hours and 22 minutes. Right, during the third hour after midnight, the hands on the clock pointed in the same direction, so one hand was over the top of the other. At what time to the nearest second did this happen? Find all the times when the hands on the clock are over top of each other in a 24-hour period. So, what you've got to do is think about the hour hand moving very, very slowly between the numbers on the hours. So, for instance, during the hour of 1 o'clock, it's not going to always stay on the number 1. It's going to slowly start to move between 1 and 2. Now, what you might need to do is think about the number of angles in the whole circle and then think about how far the angle has gone. So I will tell you that you know that angles on a straight line, you've got 2 right angles. So you know you've got 90, add 90. If you're going to carry on and do a full circle, then you've got another one. You've got 90, add 90. So 4 times 90, which is 360. So that's how many angles there are in a full circle. That clue might help you to solve this, or there are different methods. It's entirely up to you. Mandeep's watch loses 2 minutes every hour. Adam's watch gains 1 minute every hour. They both set their watches from the radio at 6 a.m, then start their journeys to the airport. When they arrive at the same time, their watches are 10 minutes apart. At what time did they arrive at the airport? So, you need to try and find, what I would personally do is I'd start with a list of Mandeep's watch, and then I would start with Adam's, and I would go through the times and see what's happening to them and try and find as much of a pattern as you can. Okay? On a digital clock showing 24-hour time over a whole day, how many times does a 5 appear? What I'm going to do is have a look at the times. So this is my digital clock. Okay? I can't have a 5 in this box, but apart from that, I can have a 5 in all the other boxes. So think about all the options. What I would decide, there's no wrong answer here, but decide, are you doing it every time a 5 appears on the screen and only when the 5 disappears? So for instance, when it's 50, the 5 would appear, and when it's 59 would be the last time, and then 60 it would disappear, and you'd count that as 1 for the 50 column because the 5 really stays there. or are you going to count it for every single time, so you count them separately? So you'd have 50 would count as one time it would appear, 51 would count as 2 times, 53 would count as 3 times. Okay, so decide how you're going to count it. There are quite a lot of different answers for this. The answers that I have given you are a suggested answer. It's not the only answer.